Hi guys, welcome back. It's Professor Hank, and in this video I'm going to show you how to write a console program in C++ that does this. Do. In other words, we're going to learn how to do input validation. Okay, so hang around and check it out. All right, so let's see how it's done. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is we need to understand the logic of how an input validation loop works, at least as described by the textbook that we use in my classes, my C++ classes. So take a look here and you can see I've got a flow chart that lays out the basics of a loop. Okay, so the first thing that our program has to do is it has to ask the user for input, right? Your program needs some kind of input, and we have to have input that we consider to be acceptable. Okay, so in my example that I had at the beginning of the video, basically I wanted a program that only accepted positive numbers. So the program was going to be stuck in a loop so long as the user kept giving me non-positive numbers. You know, -5, -2, -8, 0, you know, whatever. The user was going to be trapped in that loop until they gave me or gave my program some input that I considered acceptable. In this case, like I said, positive numbers. So here's what the logic looks like. So you start off by asking the user for the input. Hey, enter a positive number. Okay, and then after that, you have a test. Is the input acceptable, right? So in this case, is the number greater than 0? If it is, then continue on with the program. Okay, you saw with my program, we just went on and showed them the number, right? But we can continue on with the rest of the program if they give us acceptable input. Okay, but if they don't, as in the case of at the beginning of the video where I was putting in negative numbers, well, then they go into the body of a loop, in the body of a validation loop. They get stuck in there, they get trapped. So what did I do? I informed the user of the error, right? The number must be positive, try again. And then I asked them for the number again, right? So then once we got the number, we went back up to the top of the loop and checked it. Is the input acceptable? So is the input acceptable is just going to be a test expression for our while loop. And then these two steps here are just statements inside the body of our while loop. So we ask the user for the input first, then we encounter the while loop, and if the input is not acceptable, we enter the body of the while loop and we stay there so long as the input is not acceptable. Once it is, then we blow past the while loop and continue on with the rest of the program. Okay, so now that we understand the logic, let's go take a look at code. Okay, so let's write it up. Okay, so we're going to ask the user for a positive number, right? So remember what the first step was ask for input. Okay, so that's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to ask for some input. So here we're just going to ask for, a positive number. So see out, enter a positive number. Okay, so then we'll read that number in. Okay, and we have to define ourselves a number variable. Okay, so we got the input. Now that was the very first piece. Okay, what was the next piece? Check to see if the input is acceptable. Is the input acceptable? So we want to trap them inside of the while loop so long as the input is not acceptable. So if they give us something we don't like, we trap them in the loop. So what don't we like? We want positive numbers. So anything that's not positive should trap them in the loop. So while num is less than or equal to 0, because 0 is neither negative nor positive, we can't accept 0 as input. And this is really, you got to be really careful here. You got to pay attention to whether or not you choose less than or equal to, right? If I said while num is less than 0, right, that would mean that my program would accept 0 as valid input. But 0 is not positive. I need to reject it. So I want 0 or less to be rejected. I want to trap the user in my loop so long as they enter 0 or less, okay, because 0 is not positive. So what do we do in the loop? Remember what those two steps were. Notify the user of the error, and then error, and then get new input, right? So cout error input must be positive number, something like that. You just let them know. Try again. Try again. Okay. Something like that. And then we'll get the new input. So we could literally just come up here and copy and paste these lines, unless you want to do something different. But we gotta get the new input. If it worked for us the first time, well, it'll work here just as well. Okay. Now, just to show that it worked, if they give us something that's acceptable, in other words, an integer greater than 0, well, then we're going to blow past this loop. Okay. So we only get past the loop if the input is acceptable. For example, what if they typed in 5, right? On line 9 and 10, what if they type in 5? We'll go to line 13. Is 5 less than or equal to 0? No. So it's acceptable. So we don't trap the user. So we go past the while loop and we continue on with the rest of the program. So cout, you entered the right value or something, which was num. Okay. So notice that because it's a while loop, the user can keep trying, inputting the wrong thing all day long. They're going to be stuck here forever. That's what a while loop is helpful for in this situation. An if statement would be the wrong statement to use, because an if statement would only check once, right? If this was an if statement instead, and the user entered a negative number twice, we would accept the invalid input the second time. But let's test this first, then we'll see what the if statement would look like to compare it. Okay, so let's go ahead and run it. Build and run. Okay, so enter a positive number. So when you see that, where are we at? Okay, we're right here. Okay, so now I'm going to enter invalid input, so -5. So what did we see? Error, input must be positive number, try again, enter a positive number. So where are we then? Well, when I entered -5, right, we went from line 10 to line 13. Is -5 less than or equal to 0? Yes. So then we entered the body of the loop. Error, input must be a positive number, try again. And then we're asking them for the new input. So we're sitting right here in our program on line 20. So now I'm going to type -3. So when I type -3, what happened? Num got -3 in it, so we went back to the top of the loop. Okay, is -3 less than or equal to 0? Yes. In other words, it's still invalid input. So we go back into the loop. So the user continues being trapped inside this loop. So we print out the error message and we ask for the next number. We ask for the value again. This time I'll type 7. Okay. Now when I type 7, we're going to go to the top of the loop, and num's going to contain 7. Is 7 less than or equal to 0? No. So we blow past the loop and we continue on with the program. 7 is valid input. The program can now continue. So it's going to say you entered the right value, 7. Okay. So hit enter, and you can see you entered the right value, 7. Okay, so you can, because it's a loop, like I said, the user can keep entering invalid input all day long. Now, this is the correct way to do it. Now, what would happen, let's contrast it to an incorrect way, which I see a lot of students do, right? They think that this is input validation, and it's not, okay? So, let's run this and see what would happen. Okay. I think most time when students do this, they only test their program with like two values, right? It should work. They should be stuck in the loop forever, right? The user should be hitting negative numbers over and over and over and over and over again. Okay. So you got to test more than once or twice or three times. So let's say that I type in -5 here, right? Oh, look, it tells me there's an error, and then I have to try to enter a positive number. Now, at this point, if the user or if the student tries to test this and hits 8, everything looks great, right? But it's not, the code's not correct, because let's run it again, and I'll show you how easy it is to break this, right? So if I enter -5, okay, then when we get to the if statement on line 13, -5, is that less than or equal to 0? Yes. So we enter the body of the if statement and ask for the next number. Now I'll type -3. Okay, now what happens there? Well, as soon as you type -3, the if statement's over, and you go on, you continue on as if you had entered valid input. But I didn't enter valid input, right? So line 24 tells me I have the right value, but I don't. Okay, so that's the difference between using a while loop and an if statement to do input validation. It should be a while loop, okay? Because an if statement, if the user enters incorrect data twice in a row, your program can accept it when it should always reject it. Okay? So there you go. I hope you found the video useful. If you did, please consider giving it a thumbs up. If you thought the video sucked, then you've got that thumbs down as well. Please consider supporting the channel in various ways. We've got super thanks, memberships, subscribe. Hit the bell so you know when there's new videos being posted. Leave a comment, whatever. And if you're a student of mine, as usual, if you have any questions, please feel free to stop by my office hours, hit me up on Zoom, email me with any questions you have. Okay, that's everything I got for you this time. We'll see you next time.